What up? Today I want to talk about transgender individuals. It is Transgender Awareness Week, and this is an extremely important topic because it is becoming more common in the world amongst people. It's not necessarily becoming more common, it's becoming more acceptable. And many people are still not acceptable, but many people are, and that's good news because it is our job here on this planet to love each other, not judge each other or think that that person is not doing what they're supposed to. It's not your job to do that. It's your job to worry about yourself and be supportive and loving to those around you. I'm not talking about people who are going around killing people, but I'm talking about people that are different from you. So, happy Transgender Awareness Week. I know it's the end of the week, so if you are in the LGBT community watching this, I apologize. I did not know until a few days ago. So now I know. It's the second week in November every year. There are different things for the LGBT community. There's different flags. You can look that up. That way you'll know if you ever see one to be extra kind to that person because they have been through a lot of shit. So, Transgender Awareness Week. Let's start with the brain. I learned about this in college. I took a million classes. So, the transgender brain has been scanned by doctors using brain imagery equipment, so they have seen the brain, right? And there are clear differences in those who are transgender. There are also differences between those who are gay or homosexual, queer. I know about that. I don't know about people who are bisexual. However, I can fully understand loving everyone. That's a beautiful thing. The brain is different. There are several studies that you can find on the internet from reputable sources that will tell you this, that the brain is different. Brain imagery for early identification of transgender young people is now possible. And let me ask you something, because this is a real issue. If you're somebody who believes that it's wrong to be transgender or it's a sin, ask yourself, why did the medical community go so far as to allow someone to change their sex? Because that's the only solution they found. This person thinks that or feels that they are the opposite sex, so this is the treatment. This is the treatment because nothing else has worked. We can cure cancer, right? With radiation and things like that. We can cure cancer. We can cure numerous diseases. So if you trust the medical community to develop a vaccine for you, why do you not trust the medical community about the brain of someone who's gay or transgender? That confuses me. People on this planet are weird, and it's not the people who are transgender, gay, lesbian, or bisexual, or queer. It's the people who sit back and hate them for it, or judge them for it, or say they're abomination and they need to go pray it away. It's not possible, and it's not a choice. It's the way they were born. These things, adolescents can discover or start displaying behaviors of feeling transgender at an extremely young age, usually before they even leave kindergarten. So imagine going through your life feeling like you're someone else. I'm sorry, you guys know I'm like super emotional about stuff. If you've been watching my channel, you know I'm kind of like an empath. So what that means is that like I feel other people's pain. I didn't know about this. I'd never even researched EMPAS before, but you know, you can look that up because that's not what we're talking about. So you can imagine how painful this would be to go through a majority of your life having people hate you or tell you that this is a choice. You're wrong. You were born a boy. You're a boy. You were born a girl. You're a girl. That's not accurate. You need, and if it is, you need to look at the entire picture. So you need to look at this person's body. You need to look at their brain. If their brain doesn't represent their sex, who are you to say that they're wrong? No one, right? So this was also discovered. So adolescent girls and males who are transgender typically show the brain pattern in visual and spatial memory exercises that were conducted. So they're determining things like the opposite sex. They are thinking like the opposite sex. They are doing this because their brains were designed that way. They were designed that way. And it's not our job to try and fix them. It's our job to support them and find out how we can best do that. And science has told us, the medical community has told us what we can do for them. We can accept them. And we can love them for who they are. And I'm wearing, you guys, I didn't have anything transgender on hand. So I am wearing a Be Yourself sports bra. And it is a flag for bipolar. Oh my God. I keep doing that. Bisexual. This is the colors for the bisexual flag. And I'm wearing it to show my support. What else okay, so the other things I wanted to talk about were suicide rates and assault that trans people experience. There are many transgender people who have reported discrimination against others. I mean, that's an obvious. But discrimination from their own doctors, which is kind of sad because that's really difficult. The whole life of someone who's transgender is difficult. Imagine like everyone just hating you for something you had no control over. And those that say you do have control over, you need to do your research. Trans death rates are, like murder rates are more for Black people. They have much higher rates of murder because they're transgender. But this is everyone. This is every transgender person. But I felt that was important to say. People in poor communities have, people who are different ethnicities other than Caucasian have higher instances of suicide. So that's an obvious also. If you're going through life with everyone hating you or judging you or telling you you're going to hell because you're different, you're going to be extremely depressed and hurt and probably suffer from depression, anxiety, all of these things. It's a hard life and we should respect that. If you haven't, it's very difficult for a lot of people if they haven't had firsthand experiences with something. It's very difficult for them to put themselves in another person's shoes. So I would like it if you're one of those people who does have difficulty putting yourself in other people's shoes. I would like it if you just sat there and thought about this for 5 minutes and imagined, I am this person and this person over here on my playlist. I want to, my LGBTQ playlist, I want, if you are someone who is in the trans community, LGBTQ community, you might want to Google the articles if you want to tell people about it, rather than look at these videos. If you do look at the videos, do not look at the comments. I was reading the comments last night and I just ended up in tears because I can't believe the things that people were saying. Transgender is an abomination. You really need to go to church and pray. And it was breaking my heart, because people respect others who are in the church. It's the whole country, the dollar says, "In God we trust." So the whole world is telling you, well, all of America is telling you that God is important, so much so that he's on your money. But all of the people that associate with that God think that you are making a horrible choice, and it's not a choice. Another thing that's extremely difficult for people who are transgender is using the restroom. If they're in school, they cannot use the restroom of the sex that they identify with. There are stalls in the bathroom, in every bathroom. You can go in there. You don't have to see. There are unisex bathrooms. Have you guys heard of this? There are unisex bathrooms that are all... I went to one bar in Vegas that was like this, and one bar in, oh God, where else was it? Somewhere in LA. And anybody could go in the restroom, men and women. I've actually seen a bathroom sign that said, "We don't care," which is awesome. That was the coolest one I'd seen. But here in Long Beach, it's a very, very gay friendly community. It's a very artistic community, and people here are much more accepting of those that are attached to the LGBTQ community. So yeah, that's difficult. But I was getting to the point. Yeah, all of the bathroom signs here say they have a picture of both genders or something like that. I'm not quite sure. I think it's both genders. God, I wish look it up. But I was at the beach one day, and this much older lady made a comment about the sign, and I should have said something directly to her. Instead, I said something very loud by her that I'm pretty sure she had to have heard. And I just basically said, "I don't understand why people are so shitty and why they don't understand this." Yeah, that's all I got for now. It's very difficult. People tell you that it's a choice, and it's not. Your brain is clearly different. You want to kill yourself. I think it was more than one in four trans people face bias-driven assault. There are a record number of violent transgender deaths. I think I already talked about discrimination from healthcare workers. You might want to look up how many people have been killed. How many trans people have been killed this year, murdered, because they were trans. You might be surprised. And then this is something that is very important, and it's something that I care about, and I really hope that you guys now care about it, or maybe understand a little more. And if you don't, just do some research, because it's important, especially if you're someone who thinks that you're a good person. Actions speak louder than words, and you can't just go around hating things because you don't understand them or you don't know. You're old enough to know that evidence is what makes something real and true, and there's plenty of evidence. So yes, be yourself. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.